You know, there's a particular kind of quiet that settles over a man when the sun drops behind the tree line and the first star pokes through the dark like a needle through black cloth. I've been sitting on this porch a good many years now, watching that same sky, listening to them same crickets start their evening song. And I'll tell you something I reckon most folks don't stop long enough to notice anymore. This world used to feel a whole lot less empty. Now, I don't mean the land was crowded. Lord have mercy, no. You could ride 3 hours on horseback and not see a single soul. Snow-covered pine as far as the eye could reach. Wind so cold it bit right through your wool coat and grabbed your bones like it owned them. No, the land wasn't crowded, but the people were close. There's a difference, you see, a mighty big difference between being surrounded and being known. My granddaddy Elias, now there was a man, big hands, quiet eyes. Didn't talk much, old Elias didn't. But Lord, when he sat down in that rocker of his, the one he'd built himself from a fallen oak out back, folks just drifted toward him like moths to a lantern. Couldn't explain it then, can't fully explain it now. But I watched it happen 100 times as a boy. Neighbors had come by after supper, didn't need an invitation, didn't need a reason, they just showed up. The Hendersons from down the creek, old Widow Marsh with her knitting basket, the Calhoun boys loud as thunderstorms. They'd pull up stumps and barrel tops and whatever else was handy, and they'd sit in that dooryard until the moon was high, talking, laughing, sometimes just breathing the same night air.
My Eleanor, God rest her, she used to say that loneliness wasn't about being alone. She'd say it slow, real deliberate like, the way she said most things that mattered. She'd say, "Silas, a man can be lonely in a room full of people if none of them people truly see him." I've been turning that over in my mind for 60 years, and I tell you, she was right. She was almost always right. That woman had a way of laying a thing bare without ever raising her voice. Back then, people saw each other. They truly did. Not through glass, not through wire and distance, face to face, eye to eye, with the firelight flickering between them and the smell of pine smoke in the air. That's what I want to tell you about tonight, about why folks back then didn't carry this particular kind of heaviness that I see in so many eyes today. This hollow ache, this feeling of being unseen, this loneliness that creeps in even when you're staring at a screen full of faces. Pull your chair a little closer. Let Let me tell you how it was.
The winters out here used to come down hard. Not politely hard. Not the kind that dusts your windowsill and looks pretty. Hard like a wall. Hard like a judgment. Snow up past the fence posts. Ice on the inside of the window glass come morning. You'd wake up and your breath would hang in the air like smoke before you'd even got the fire going. Now you'd think that kind of cold would drive a man inward, make him pull in, shut the door, be alone with his thoughts. And it did some. But here's the thing, the cold also drove folks together, not by choice so much as by plain necessity. You needed your neighbor, not as a notion, not as a sentiment, as a fact of life, same as needing firewood and a sound roof. Come fall, when the harvest was in and the first frost had kissed the fields, word would go around. Didn't need no newspaper notice, didn't need no announcement pinned to a post. Just somebody'd ride past your gate and holler, "Henderson's barn raising Saturday next." And that was enough. You went. Everybody went. The men had worked from sunup to sundown. Heavy timbers, rope and muscle and the smell of fresh cut pine. And the women, Lord have mercy, the women that lay out a spread that'd make a grown man weep. Cornbread and smoked ham, dried apple pie, molasses biscuits still warm from the Dutch oven. And by evening, there was a barn where there'd been nothing but cold ground that morning. But it wasn't just the barn that got built. You understand what I'm saying? It was something else, something harder to name, a sense of having been counted on and of counting on others. That goes deep into a man, deep into his bones, deeper than any code could reach. My granddaddy Elias, he worked 3 barn raisins that I remember as a boy. Never said much about it after. Just came home, sat in his rocker, pulled off his boots, and there was something about his face, a settledness, like a man who knows exactly where he belongs in the world and ain't worried about it. That settledness, I reckon that's the opposite of lonely. Not happiness exactly, not joy necessarily, just the quiet knowledge that you are part of something, that if you fell, somebody'd come, that your name was known and your absence would be felt. My Tommy, oh, that boy, he couldn't have been more than 7 or 8 when he followed Elias to a cabin building down near the river. Came home with splinters in both hands and the proudest grin you ever saw on a child. Said it held 2 boards together while the men nailed them. That was all. Just held 2 boards. But Lord, you'd have thought he'd built the whole thing himself the way he carried on about it at supper. That's what community does to a person, even a little one. It tells them, you matter here. Your hands matter. Your presence matters. We needed you today, and we'll need you again. There ain't a medicine in the world that does what that does for a soul. Come sundown, the whole world changed. You understand what I mean by that, truly. It wasn't just that it got dark. The dark back then was real dark, full dark. Not the half dark of today with its glow coming from every window and post. I mean a dark so thick you could almost feel it sitting against your skin. We had our oil lamps, we had the fire, and that was it. That was the whole world reduced down to one warm circle of light, and everything else left to the dark in the Lord. And here's the thing about that circle of light. Everybody in the cabin had to be inside it, together. There was nowhere else to go, no other room to wander off to, no separate little glowing box to carry with you and disappear inside. Just that one lamp, just that one fire, just each other. Eleanor used to do her mending by lamplight. I'd be working on something, a harness maybe, or reading from whatever book we had. And Tommy'd be on the floor with a bit of carved wood he was pretending was a horse. And Elias, when he stayed with us winters, he'd be in that chair, sometimes reading scripture, sometimes just watching the fire. And nobody was talking necessarily, but Lord, nobody was lonely either. There's a name for what that was, though we didn't know the name of it then. Folks who study such things, and I reckon some of them have figured out something worth knowing, they say that just being in the same room as somebody you trust changes something in your blood, settles it down, like a river after a storm. Your heart slows, your worry eases. Something in your body says, you ain't alone, you're safe. We didn't need to be told that. We just lived it every night. That warm circle of lamp glow was doing something for us we didn't even have a word for. Eleanor had a habit. I think of it often. She'd look up from her mending every so often, just for a moment, and she'd look at me. Not needing anything, not saying anything, just checking that I was there. And I'd look back, and that was all. That was the whole conversation. And somehow, it was enough. Somehow, it was everything. I think about folks today in their fine houses with their electric lights burning in every room, bright as midday all night long, and each person gone off to their own corner with their own little screen. And the silence between them isn't the quiet, settled silence of people who know they are safe together. It's the silence of people who forgot to look up. The oil lamp didn't give us much light, but it gave us each other. And I tell you, that was the brighter gift. My granddaddy Elias, I want to tell you more about him, because I think he understood something that most men spend a lifetime missing. He understood that being present to someone was an act, a deliberate act, like chopping wood or mending fence, something you chose, something you did with your hands and your eyes and your whole self. I remember one particular winter,
I couldn't have been more than 10. A family down the valley, the Prestons, lost their youngest boy. Fever took him in 3 days. 3 days. He'd been running and hollering in the yard on Monday. He was gone by Thursday. Now, it wasn't a time when folks talked easy about grief, men especially. You worked, you kept going. You didn't sit with a thing too long or it'd take you under. That's how most men handled it. But Elias, what he did was he hitched the horse and drove over to the Preston place. He didn't say a single word of comfort, not one. He just went in, took off his coat, and started splitting firewood. Split wood for 3 hours, stacked it neat against the side of the house. Then it came back inside, nodded at old Preston, put his coat back on, and drove home. I asked him once, years later, I said, "Granddaddy, why didn't you say anything to the man?" He looked at me a good long while. Then he said, "Boy, there wasn't nothing to say. But a man's got to know somebody came. Somebody came." I've been thinking about them 2 words for 70 years. Somebody came. That's all it was. That's all it needed to be. Not the right words, not a long explanation, not advice or scripture read aloud. Just, "I am here. I saw that you were hurting, and I came." Back then, that's what people did. They showed up, physically, in the body, in the cold, in the mud, in the dark. They hitched the horse, and they came. And the knowing of that, the knowing that if the worst came, somebody would come. I reckon that's the very root of why folks didn't feel so lonely. It wasn't that their lives were easier. Lord, they were harder. It wasn't that they had more joys and fewer sorrows. They had plenty of both. But they moved through it all, inside a web of people who knew them by name and would show up if they fell. Eleanor used to visit the widow Marsh every single Tuesday. Snow or sun, didn't matter. She'd take whatever we had, a jar of preserves, a bit of bread, and she'd sit with that old woman for an hour. Didn't do it for praise, didn't talk about it much. Just said one time, quiet-like, "Silas, that woman hasn't had somebody sit across from her all week. Somebody ought to. Somebody ought to." That right there, that quiet, ordinary conviction, that was the whole remedy. Not a program, not an institution, just a woman who understood that another soul needed to be sat across from. I want to tell you about summer evenings, because if the winters taught us about depending on each other, the summers taught us about simply being with each other. No emergency, no crisis, just the long, honey-slow hours after the day's work was done. Come sundown in the warm months, the porch was where life happened. Our porch ran the whole front of the cabin. Elias had built it wide on purpose. He told me once that a man who builds a narrow porch ain't planning on having company, and Elias was always planning on having company. You'd hear the rockers start up, that steady creak, 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 like the house itself breathing out after a long day. The fireflies would start their slow blink out in the grass. Horses settled quiet in the barn. The smell of the evening, wood smoke and honeysuckle, and the particular cool that came off the creek after dark. Lord, you cannot buy that. You cannot make it come back. And folks would talk, or they wouldn't. That was the thing. Talking wasn't required. You could sit with your neighbor for an hour and say maybe 20 words and leave feeling like you'd had a real visit. Because it wasn't the words that mattered so much. It was the sitting, the sharing of the same slow evening, the being there. Tommy, that rascal, he'd chase fireflies until Eleanor called him in. And when she called, he'd pretend not to hear the first time, and the second time. And by the third time, her voice had that particular edge to it that didn't leave room for argument. I can still hear it. Lord have mercy, I can still hear it. He'd come up on the porch, that boy, breathing hard from running, cheeks red, hands cupped around whatever tiny glowing thing he'd caught, and he'd open his hands just a crack to show Elias. And Elias, that big, quiet man, he'd lean forward in his rocker and look at that firefly like it was the most important thing in the world. That right there, that's it. That's the whole thing. An old man leaning forward to look at a child's firefly, giving it his full attention, making that child feel that what he'd brought was worth bringing. We talk about loneliness like it's some great complicated sickness, and maybe it is, but the remedy, I truly think, is something as plain and small as an old man leaning forward in a rocking chair to look at a firefly. It's attention, real attention, the kind that costs you something, the kind that says, I see you, right now, not later, not halfway, now. You and what you've brought matter to me. Back then, attention was all folks had to give. No trinkets to offer, mostly. No grand gestures. Just time. Just eyes. Just presence. And so that's what they gave. Freely. Regularly. Like it was the most natural thing. Because it was. I'm an old man now. I know it, and I don't mind it. The Lord's been generous with my years, and I ain't got complaint. But I won't pretend I don't see the difference between how folks carried themselves back then and how they carry themselves now. There's a weight today that I don't think people even know they're carrying because they've never known what it feels like to put it down. The loneliness. I'm talking about the loneliness. Back then, and I want to be honest with you, because honest is the only way I know how to be. Life was hard. Don't let nobody tell you different. Children died. Crops failed. Men broke under the weight of bad winters and debt they couldn't climb out from under. There was real suffering. I saw it. I lived some of it. But almost nobody suffered alone. That's the thing. The suffering was real, but it was shared. And when suffering is shared, when there are hands on your shoulders, and eyes that look at you straight, and voices that say your name, it doesn't disappear, but it changes. It becomes something bearable, something human-sized.
Now, there's something that happens in a person's body, and I've heard tell of this from folks who studied such things, when they feel truly connected to others, truly seen, truly known. Something settles down in them, like deep water going still. Their whole inner weather changes. The alarm in them quiets. The part that's always scanning and watching and wondering if they're safe, it rests. And the part that's always asking, does anybody know I'm here? That part gets its answer. Yes, we know. We see you. You belong here. And Lord, what a thing it is when a soul gets that answer. Eleanor knew that. She knew it the way she knew how to make bread, not from a book, but from her hands, from doing it every day. She made people feel known. It was her great gift. She remembered things, what ailed your mother, what your boy was studying, what your trouble was last spring, whether it had gotten better. Small things, Lord, the smallest things. But they added up to a person saying, I have been paying attention to you. Your life is worth my attention. I have missed that woman every day since she left me. Every single day. Not because I was dependent, not because I couldn't manage, but because she was the one who made me feel fully present in my own life, like a lamp lit in a room that would otherwise be dark. I think that's what folks back then gave each other that we have such trouble giving now. Not resources, not solutions, not entertainment or advice or information. Just the lamp in the room, the presence that says, this room is inhabited. You are not alone in it. If I could say one thing, just one thing, to anyone listening to an old man ramble on a porch in the dark, it'd be this. Go sit with somebody. Not because they called for you, not because there's a crisis, not because you have something to offer. Just go. Show up at their door the way Elias showed up at the Preston pace, without the right words, without a plan, just with your body and your eyes and the willingness to stay a while. And maybe, if the evening is warm enough, pull up a chair on the porch, watch the fireflies, let the silence come. Don't rush it, don't fill it, just sit inside it together, the way folks used to, the way people were made to. Because here's the God's honest truth of it, and I've had 75 years to think on it. We were never built for the alone, not one of us. We were built for the porch, for the oil lamp circle, for the hand on the shoulder, and the name spoken, and the eye that doesn't look away. We were built to be known, and somewhere, deep down, I reckon every soul alive still knows it. Good night, folks. God bless you, everyone.